reception for April Ashley to open the exhibition at the Museum of Liverpool, which is taking place from 5 o'clock today. And we thought it would be a good idea between Hometopia to recognise the importance of the April Ashley legacy, the story, the history of the change in transgender law and the impact that April Ashley has brought to it.
We have April Ashley with us. I'm sorry for the delay.
Well, it was 60 years ago that I first met George, as he was then, in a hotel in St Asaph in North Wales. I was a comic chef and he was a cocktail barman. And you could see he was gay and different, and I couldn't quite make up my mind at 15. But then, of course, I got to learn about him and reading about him in the papers, etc. And then, a few years ago, now when we brought in 2004, we brought in the Gender Recognition Act. And I saw a video in which April now is saying to Tony Blair, you know, why don't you do something about this gender action? It's so wrong. I thought, oh, it must be still about. So I got onto Google, got the address, sent the email saying, you might remember that commie chef in the Taladi in St Asaph. Well, I'm now the Deputy Prime Minister, and your wish has come true because we have now just introduced that bill, plus the civil marriage bill, civic marriage bill as well. So to that sense, that's how we met. And then they told him here, which is quite remarkable, putting on an exhibition, would I like to come along and meet April again and take pride in opening the exhibition? Yes, of course I would. It's part of my history, even though it was 60 years ago. Things have changed in those 60 years from when I sat in that room and thought, what's this? As a young boy of 15. And indeed to be in a legislation that changed what she wanted and what we all wanted about recognising that minority have rights, and now and then in a democracy you look to the minorities as much as the majority.
It is a huge responsibility, and I hope we've made something special that allows the wider audience to engage, to learn, and not underestimate the power of a place like the Museum of Liverpool, where families, pensioners, young children, schools can come in for the first time in a national museum in the country, can actually read the struggles, the political changes, the oppression, the moments when the gay, lesbian, trans community have been beaten because the establishment didn't want them to have a voice. That's up there. And that's important that our schools in this city and across the country engage. And the teachers can't hide away from engaging with that discussion. If someone wants to ask the question, it's important to remind ourselves that that's a powerful statement and it's epic in terms of its reach.
Every single one of us, we all stand on the shoulders of giants. And of course, one of the giants for me was April Ashley. The fact that April never hid. She never, like so many other people, pretending it had happened to her. She was herself.
But Liverpool Museum, can I say, there isn't another museum in this country would have put this exhibition on, in my view. They wouldn't want to, but you had the courage to have done that. And it was good to do it in Liverpool because you had the same kind of struggles that have gone here in Liverpool in many areas. When I come through, I see that bomb over there when I was in Liverpool. Our strikes were always over there. And they used to ban me from the canal for indifferent discipline. What they mean is because you were a trade unionist, but leave it aside. So, thank you for doing this in such a wonderful building. It follows the quality you've established here. So it is wonderful to move from the big things like the slavery and in Canard. We're talking about individuals. In this case tonight, one person. So thanks very much, and I declare this exhibition off, and hope many, many people come.
It's fantastic. She's an absolutely fantastic lady. From an era, we can't even think about, and what she's been through. And I think this is going to be fantastic for the whole year. I know, it's just amazing. So, then weekends spare, I'll be down here all the time.
I just think it's fantastic as a trans person from Liverpool to see a trans exhibition that's going to be here for a year. That young and old are going to see is amazing for me. Added to the fact that April's such an amazing personality and she's done so much for trans people, I think it's amazing.
I think it's great in like sort of high-profile museum to have something that concentrates on a very important person in trans history, and also with the timeline showing all the developments in transgender history.
I think this is a really powerful exhibition. It's just so incredible to see the journey that she's taken, but that it's so necessary to have all these changes in law, that there is so much prejudice still. It's just so inconceivable that it matters so much to people to keep other people down and to not allow people to just be themselves. You know, it's a very powerful exhibition though, fantastic. And good on Liverpool, eh? Good on Liverpool.
Well, I think it's really important for the future generations to be able to see things like this and hopefully make it easier and more accepting. And the struggles that people like April have gone through is just mind-blowing when you think of the times and how difficult it was back then to be gay, let alone transgendered. I just found it really interesting, the timeline and the documentation of young trans people and different lives and things like that. So
I'm really delighted with the exhibition. I think it's a wonderful accolade for April and for some of the people who helped her, and I think it's great for Liverpool that this story should come out and be in the general public's view, and I'm overwhelmed, I think, with just how well it's been done. I think the club is fantastic. That's really good. And also, I'm pleased that it's allowed other strands of trans to be seen as well, not just transsexual, but transvestite, genderqueer, gender non-conforming, people who have no gender. It allows everybody to be included. And in the end, that's what it's about, inclusion for everybody.
We came with the university because we're doing a course on Queer Britain, and I think the April Ashley exhibition is just amazing, and it's such a good thing to have in Liverpool because nothing like this has ever been done. And I'm really enjoying it, it's amazing.
It's great I can actually say now I appeared at the carousel with April Ashley. So I think that would be quite good for me and for other trans people to say. And it's a great idea, and if we can stop people hate crime, stop people shouting obscenities in the streets, stop people throwing excrement at us, doing all sorts of things. It's education. Educate young people and older people. It's education. And I think it's brilliant to get the schools down here, get everybody down here, and it'd be brilliant.
I think this is a really, really important exhibition for Liverpool. I think it demonstrates how far Liverpool has come and how far the community has come in being recognised within the city. And I think it's absolutely revolutionary, really, that we have this exhibition here. It will serve to really open people's minds further, challenge perceptions of the community, and it's really important that we have the exhibition to give a voice to the experience of trans people in Liverpool, but trans people actually right across the UK and the world. And that's something that doesn't happen very often, but is very, very important to be seen.
I'm a historian at John Moores. This is one of the first opportunities that I think we've ever had to come and see the transition of transgender people into an accepted body of people, and it's the most inspirational, I think, piece of exhibition work that I've ever seen. My students really appreciate it, and I'm really glad that it's here to use as a source for them.
As a police officer, being here tonight has been fantastic. I met some absolutely lovely people who I know will now contact me, and there's that bond now being built a little bit more, And I just think it's a really lovely thing for Liverpool. Liverpool's a fantastic city. This building's an absolutely gorgeous building, and the exhibition has just done Liverpool really, really proud.
Tracy O'Hara, I'm from Merseyside Police. I'm here tonight because obviously Merseyside Police have worked with Homotopia for the last 7 or 8 years, and this year's no different. We turned up tonight to just support the event and to meet April Ashley. It was just amazing. amazing. One of the best nights that I think we've had in our Homotopia relationship. I think it's fair to say it's just been incredible. There's just so many. I don't know where to start looking. I don't know what to start reading. It's just brilliant, and it's great that obviously the police are here. Police have had a potted history with the trans community and our LGBT communities, and for us to be here and be visible and say what we think around discrimination and hate crime is massive. It just gives us a vehicle that we don't normally get, and I just can't speak highly enough of it. The event. Lord Prescott's speech was just funny. The mayor's here. It's just been fabulous. Just a great night.
I'm really inspired to have been here tonight and listened to all the amazing contributions and input to this fabulous exhibition, and being one of the kind of middle or younger generation coming through, it's really important to recognise the changes that have been happening throughout the decades, to make space for those people that have never felt either or sex, that are in the middle. And so all those possibilities of being alternatively gendered, or having a gender that is in between, or gender queer, or questioning, is about to almost explode, and it's doing so in the States. And this is a result of people like April Ashley. So this is a bit of a legendary moment for me. Thank you.